Hello everybody, Omega Given here. Today I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a different kind of tutorial. This is a tutorial of the game of Sabacc. If you do not know what this game is, this is a game that's kind of featured in the Han Solo movie, and you can buy this game at Galaxy's Edge, or you can probably find it online, but it's a little bit more expensive online. You can buy it at Galaxy's Edge for $16.99 unless inflation happens, which might happen. This game is basically a gambling game in the movies, but even though it's a gambling game at Galaxy's Edge, they do not tell you the gambling rules. In this video, I will tell you a version of the gambling rules that I have found out I could play. You can choose to follow the same rules as I do, or you can try to figure them out yourself. So I kind of came up with these rules just trying to think of how would I be able to gamble with this game, or friendly gambling with like friends and such. But with that said, I'll tell you a little bit about the game. This game was actually first introduced into some old novels, like Star Wars novels from back in the day, but it was made more popular by the movie. So this game features basically 62 cards, which is 3 suits of 20 cards in each suit, and then 2 0 cards. The whole idea of the game is to try to get as close to 0 as your value as possible. So with that said, just because that's a little confusing, the instructions, it has 2 0 cards which have 0 in value. So if you get both those cards as your starting hand, you basically win the game. That's the best hand you can get. Then you have in each suit you'll have a +1 through +10 of positive, and then -1 through -10 in the negative value. So red cards are negative, green cards are positive. And there's 3 suits of that. So there's 20 cards in each suit. +1, +2, +3, +4, all the way up to 10. And then -1, -2, all the way up to -10. So pretty simple, pretty easy. So how you're going to play this game is basically you're going to dish out 2 cards to each person that is playing. We're going to play with just 2 people, or 2 imaginary people, me and myself, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 2. And then you're going to have a discard pile that you flip over that you can play with. This is a very, very good start of a hand. All right, there's dice also. What these dice do is at the start of every round, which is when everybody plays through, you will roll these dice. If the dice match, then everyone discards their entire hand, and you draw back up to the amount of cards that were in your hand. If it is not, then you just continue on with the round, and you have 3 rounds total. For the sake of this one, we will kind of do it, but I'm going to just play a little bit of the one hand first with the discard. So at first here we have the dice. I normally like to place them in front of the starting person to remember who started the round, and that person can also roll the dice. So that's kind of like something easy that I've decided I would do, at least here at my household with me and my wife. All right, so let's flip the cards up so we can see what we're working with. All right, so what we're working with here is, since this person is going to start the round, we have a plus, if I check this is a +8, and then we have a -9. This is actually a really good hand to start with. So what we're going to do here, since this person sees it as a 0 card, this card can be very, very nice. So we're going to actually swap our +8 with the 0 card, because in this game, if you can get the highest points that go back down to 0, so if I get like +9 and a -9, or this is a -9, sorry, -9 and a +9, that it will be a +8 and a -8. So you kind of want to keep higher valued cards, because those will get you better hands or better chances to win, which those hands are highlighted here. You can find these instructions online for what's the best hand. Basically, 0s is the best hand, then it's +10, -10, +10, -10 in the same suits. So this is a 1 suit and this is another suit. That's another hand that will win almost always. So those are basically that. So that's what this person did. What they did was they swapped with the middle and drew a card. With that, I didn't really explain all of the different options you can do. What you can do is you can either stay where you're at, where you don't draw anything and you just pass the turn, or you can swap one card with the middle, or you can discard, then draw, or draw. You cannot just discard any card. You have to discard, then draw, or just simply draw. And you cannot discard after you draw. So it kind of has a little bit of a gambling aspect to it. You kind of got to gamble a little bit because you don't know what the next card is, but you can discard, then draw. So it's a little bit, it could really steer and get yourself into a gutter if you draw too much, but sometimes you want to take those chances. So this person swapped, and they're going to stay put. They're a -9. That's really not good, but they have a strong 0 card. Now this person, they're right now at a very big negative deficit, but they see this card in the middle. They might want to swap. So they're going to swap over this way, and that will be the end of that round. So that's round 1 ended. We're gonna start round 2 by rolling our cards, and look at this. We did a matching roll, which actually I did not plan for that to happen, but that just happened apparently. Meaning everyone has to discard their cards. This next rule I'm going to explain here is actually kind of a house rule of mine, but I'll explain why. So what we're going to do is draw back how many cards that you had previously. These players only had two cards each, so we're going to draw back up to 2 cards in each hand. This is the part where I kind of amended my own rule. It does not explain in the rule set, but I made it so whenever you discard cards, you actually flip over 1 more card, because it's kind of unfair to be able to have somebody's hand right here and draw off of that, because you don't know if they set down something nice for themselves or something like that. So we're gonna just put a new card down just to cover up that hand. All right, so this is round 2, the start of round 2. Ooh, this person did really good. This is a positive 10 card and a 0. I mean, if they can get a negative 10 card, which this person had, then that would be a perfect hand. That would be a very close to winning hand, like no matter what. But with that said, this person is the start of the round 2. So this is round 2. They're starting. They have a pretty decent hand. They are right now -3 is their card total, because this is a -10 and this is a positive 7. So they have a -3. But they see that there's a positive 3 here, but you can't just draw off the pile. You have to switch. So they're going to take a little risk. They're going to draw. All right, they just got a positive 9. That is putting them a lot more positive. So this is probably kind of digging them in the dirt a little bit more than they want. But we're going to stick with it because they just did that. All right, this hand, we got a big positive amount. They need to rule out this positive, and they don't see any negative there. So they're going to draw. They're even more in the gutter, just like this person. So that is the end of round 2. This is the start of round 3, which is the final round. So you're going to roll the dice one last time. It did not match this time, so we do not discard. And then this person's going to have to think a little bit. Do they want to swap and try to get back down to a lower number with this positive 3 that's right here? Or do they want to gamble it away? We're going to gamble it a little bit, and we draw a negative card. This is probably pretty good. This is a -6. So this is -16, and then this is a 7 and a 9. So that's a positive 16, meaning this is actually 0. This is a really good hand. So if they don't have a 0, they win this round. So they're solid. This hand is going to have to draw because they don't have anything good here. So they're going to draw, and they didn't really subtract out their deficit here, but that's okay. You know what? This is just a practice round. All right, so that was the end of round 3, meaning that they flip over their hands. We were playing open hand so we can see what's going on, but they show that they have 0, so they win the round or the game. So that is basically how you play Sabacc, the normal way at least. So my couple additions of the rules are, I kind of don't like the dice and junking a whole hand. So you can decide to play without a dice. Me and my wife, we don't really like to play with the dice too much, or we might do it on and off, but you can play with dice or without dice. Another thing you can do is you can actually gamble in this game, because you can actually fold. There's actually a folding rule in this game, but they don't really say how to gamble. So how we're going to gamble here is what we're going to do is we're going to deal out our normal hands to start. And then let's say they have chips. I don't know if you saw we had chips on the side here, but we have chips. So maybe we're going to have these as 1 in value and these as a 2 in value. So each person has some chips, and we're going to play with those. All right, we're going to flip them face up so we can see what's going on. So we have, we're going to, for one, put your, your starting bet in here because you want to play. So with that, you're going to have to decide, what do we want to do? We're going to put the dice in front of this, even though we're not going to play with it this round, or at least I don't want to play with it this round. So this is going to be the starting person. What they can do is they can stay where they are, and then they can take their turn. You can decide whether in your group you want to bet at the end of your turn, during your turn, or at the beginning of your turn. I'm just going to say we can bet anytime during your turn, so you can then draw and decide if you want to bet higher, but you have to match before you do any of that. That just makes it a little bit more fair. So here we have a matching bet. Everyone's in. So this is the first player going first, and they're going to think, I'm just going to draw. Let's take a gamble. I don't have the best hand, and so I'm just going to stay where I'm at. This person, okay, they're doing decent. They have a positive and a negative, so that's, evening it out a little bit. So they're positive, I think, 3. So what we're going to do here is they think they're doing good. They're going to raise the bet. So they're gonna raise the bet and stay where they are because they're not at 0, but they're pretty good. They're pretty good because this is a +7 and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're +2. So -5 and +7, so 2. Pretty solid value. So they're gonna raise the bet. So this person, so this is round 1. Because they raised the bet, we need to go back around to everybody and see if people are gonna match or not. So they're gonna go back around to this person and they decide, oh, they raised it, and I think I might be able to recover from this. So I'm going to match your bet, meaning they're still in the game. They are staying in the game. So that's the end of round 1. We're going on to round 2 now. So if you're playing with dice, you roll a dice and do the dice rule, which is you discard a hand if they match, or everyone discards, and then you redraw back up, which they redraw 3 if it does discard. But we're not going to do that rule. We're just going to go back to them and continue on. So from here, they're going to be, okay, we need to recover from this. I think we have one more draw left, or 2 more draws left, because we have to draw this round and draw another on the round 3. So maybe we can be able to draw a negative and draw another negative. So we're going to draw. Oh no, we have a positive card. So because they're matching, they don't want to raise it or anything, so they're going to stay where they are. So they're going to stay where they are. Very positive. Not a good hand right now. Staying where they are. Let's go over this person. This person's like, huh, they're not raising the bet. Maybe they might have something good, so we are going to maybe just stay where we are. So we're going to stay where we are, and nobody else raises the bet because there's only 2 players here. So we go back round. Okay, that's the end of round 2. Going on to round 3. Roll the dice like you would, or you just, if you're not doing the dice like we are, we just leave it there. This is round 3. All right, this person wants to bluff a little. Let's just say that. They're going to draw. And if you're doing the rule where you can, you raise it at any time during your turn, then we're going to do it at the end of our turn because we're going to draw and act like as if that completed our hand. We're going to raise it up a 2, making this a very good, like a hard bet to beat. But this person's very confident. What they're going to do is they're going to match their bet. So, or they finish their turn, right? So it goes to this turn. They're going to match the bet. And they're gonna take this turn, and since we're playing the rules where you kind of can like raise at any point in your turn, we're gonna actually stay where we are and raise it again. So raise on them. It goes back to them. They already took their turn, so they can't do anything else other than match or raise. So we're going to match that bet, and then everyone flips their card. This guy was clearly bluffing. He is very positive. I'm not even gonna add this up. It's like 1, 2. 5, 6, and a 10. That's a lot. So this person clearly wins. They have a +2 total, so they get all the chips. So that is kind of like my modifications of the gambling rule, where you can actually gamble in Sabacc. Just to highlight it, so you can basically choose. You can, for when you have your starting bet to play, and then you can have a couple rules where you can either have any point of your turn you can raise the bet or you just stay. Then everyone has to match if they want to continue playing, and you go around one by one doing that. So they take their turn and then or they match and then take their turn, or they can match, play, then raise. You might have to put a cap on how many times you raise, because then people might just go all in and everything, and you might not want the all in quite yet. So you have to put a cap on that a little bit. I know poker has a cap where you can only raise it so much, but you can figure that out in your own house. I'm just like giving you an example of how you can play with chips and actually gamble in this game, because it's not really written in the rules, but they do have that you can fold. So the rule here is that you can draw a card, you can discard a card, then draw, or you can swap a card, or you can fold and you're out of the game. They don't tell you how to gamble, they give you the folding rule. And there's no reason to fold if you're not gambling. So we're going to be adding the gambling just so you know how to play. Well, that's basically a rundown of how to play Sabacc. Maybe I'll upload some gameplay videos of just playing full games with some friends or my wife, so you can get some more grasp of the rules. It's a very fun game. It's like $17 at Galaxy's Edge, or you can probably buy it online. I don't think I've seen it online for cheaper than Galaxy's Edge. That's why I bought it at Galaxy's Edge. But yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like, a subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for watching.